At the moment, I am in Spain and enjoying it very much enjoying nice warm weather. And as I enjoy running a lot, it is very much easier to be covering the miles in 20 degrees or 17 to 18 to 19 to 20 degrees than it is in 2, which I hear it is in London at the moment. I have been working with clients, some who live here and some have flown out from England, as well as working with people online, but particularly the people who've come out for mini retreats. We've been looking at a lot at creating the life they truly want to lead and essentially dreaming their lives into being from the inside out. In an earlier video, I spoke about an early influence when I was 15 or 16 years old, and I read Jonathan Livingston Seagull, and I always use the quote that he said that touched me as a teenager, where he said, your whole body, then he said from wingtip to wingtip because he was a seagull, but your whole body is nothing more than thought itself in a form you can see. Break the chains of your thought, you break the chains of your body too. And that struck me, and I was aware of ourselves as the creators. And I was also brought up as a Christian, and it also struck me early on. One thing that Jesus said, the kingdom of heaven is within you. And I recognized that we were or are sparks of consciousness, God, the divine, and that we are the creators, we are the created and the creators. And I also heard the vicar in church talking about the symbol of the serpent with the tail in its mouth and the resolution. And I remember hearing him say that for the change in the world, the difference that we would make would be to make a difference in our own lives and to clear the darkness from within us. And by that I recognised as the years have gone by that that's the pain, the grief, the sadness, the anger, the upset, anything within us that needs clearing, makes a difference to us and obviously to the whole world. And as the years have gone by and I have worked with people to help them heal their pain, to go through very difficult circumstances, to create new things, the fundamental essence of what I teach and what I work with is that if we are upset by something external, then that's something to do with us, and therefore we have the power to transform the external reality. And this doesn't mean that there won't be processes of disappointment and grief and loss and huge things that we have to navigate. I learned very early on about grief and loss because my mother died at the same time as I read Jonathan Livingston Seagull. It was around the same time my mother died, and I was 16 years old, and I learned how to live without her. I learned to internalize everything she had given me, all the positivity, all the darling, have fun, and life's for living, and celebration of me as a person. And it took time, obviously, the process of loss and sadness and acknowledging that life would never be the same. But what I was left with was the spirit of taking responsibility and being able to go forward, even within the loss of the person who was the most important person to me in my whole life, or the most important person. I lost the most important person, and I was able to fully live. I am living fully. I have lived fully. And so I learned really young that we are responsible for our processes. So whatever happens to us, because life is a journey and lots of things can occur, And therefore it is our response to it that shifts it. It's our response to things and our processing of things and our clearing of the pain, and being able to really recognize that even when in the seemingly pain of loss or seemingly pain of disappointment or things not turning out, there is an opportunity in it for us to heal, to grow, and to then create something different. And I worked very hard to two things. I worked very hard at one, to not feel that I would also go that route of an early death. And I really worked to clear any energy in that I felt was there. And I did feel that there was a kind of exit strategy at a deep level within me that I cleared. And also I learned to transform the feeling that there would always be some kind of loss going on in my life. And I remember talking to my father when I was about 20, and I was very still afraid that of getting close to people in case they died or left. And I said to him, you know, do you think if we've had really one thing bad happen to us, that's kind of it? We've had our thing and then it's all going to be okay? And he said, no, darling, we just have to have faith. And I kind of understood what he meant, strangely. I thought, yes, I do understand. Faith is something very deep. Faith is something that means that we go more deeply into the essence of who we truly are, deep into our eternal nature, deep into the recognition that there is something more going on. So even though, as I said at the beginning, I think we can dream our lives into being, I think the processes are very deep, and that when we really know who we are at the deepest level and know we are not this mind and body, but we are eternal and that we have always existed and we are having just a short experience here, then we can have that faith, and at the same time as having the faith, have the fun as we clear away the pain, clear away anger, upset, disappointment, clear away. And when I say clear, feel it to heal it, and not repeat it with a narrative of the victim, but be able to transform ourselves. Then I think as we get clearer, we find that we can create our lives. We can, if we can align our physical, our emotional, our mental with the energy of life, the life force, we are creating as we go. But I do think life is an opportunity, and that I speak kind of slightly contradictory, because I have worked with so many people, and I've also worked with so much of my own journey, and recognised that even though I dreamed a lot into being, with the Jonathan Livingston Seagull quote, I went forth and I created amazing running experiences, but I also had disappointments and big failures in my running. And I did recognise that something I hadn't accessed was somewhere in my energy field, was the why me, and why should I be the one that's winning? And I had to clear that. Anyway, I will stop now, because this subject I can go deeper and deeper into, and it is at the deepest level, I think it is recognising that things happening on the outside are something to do with us, and that when we take that full responsibility for our journey and full responsibility for our emotional and mental health, and at the deepest level drop into the space of our essence, and we can do that in meditation, then we have the opportunity to dream our life into being. And as we dream our own life into being, we transform consciousness. Consciousness is experiencing itself through us. We are sparks of consciousness, sparks of the divine, sparks of God. And as we evolve the whole.